everybody, and welcome to this week's Ripple Effect podcast. And it's just great to see you, or maybe you're just hearing us. We don't know. A lot of you are listening in your car, on your commute, or whatever. But wherever you are, it's great to be with you today. And I'm Brian, and I'm joined here today with Mary. And then we also have Kevin Brown here, and we'll talk with him in just a few minutes. A lot of you know him, but maybe you don't. And we'd like to introduce you to new faces. And so we will interview Kevin here in a little bit. But today, our sponsor of the week is, I'm just going to say, an energy drink. Some of you know what this is, but we're not really sponsored by them, so I won't talk about their name too much. But the whole reason for that is people like me who are not morning people really struggle with the time change. And this morning, my alarm, if it went off, I didn't hear it. I don't think Jessica heard it either. And I got up at like 8 o'clock, and it felt like 6 o'clock to me still. Dawson, too. He was still in bed. He wasn't awake. I went in there and got in his bed, and his head shot up, and he was like... Oh, it was like 8:15. It's like we lost half the day. It doesn't
feel like it affects me at all, but this year has been one where I struggled to sleep on Saturday night. I struggled getting up.
Yeah, well, of course, my problem is
you're coming off of vacation.
That's true.
And
that's true, but the
convention.
I'm behind on The Amazing Race, so I watched that till like midnight. Because it doesn't feel late. But anyway, the time change, we know for a lot of us is a struggle. Others of you are like, you just need to be morning people like me. And but anyway, that's
so. Would you say you're a morning person, Kevin, or a late night person?
I'm about the middle of the day type person because I don't like to get up early in the morning for things, but then I don't stay up as late as I used to at one time. So about the middle of the day is when I find I'm probably at my peak of production. I guess
that's good.
Well, this past week, Daniel's on a little vacation. I think they're in Texas now. They got to go to Silver Dollar City before me this year. So he was sending some pictures of the new Fire in the Hole open and stuff. And so they were having a good time down there, I hope. And Matt Douglas preached. And so we always enjoy when we get to hear different people than Daniel and me in the normal rotation here. So we're thankful that he stepped up and continued our Simply Jesus series as we're leading up to Easter. We're not exactly like chronologically talking about the life of Jesus. We're talking about why he came and what his life here was all about and what it meant. And so we're thankful to Matt if he's watching or listening. Once again, we thank him for being a part of that. I also wanted to recap the convention a little bit because the reason Daniel chose to take this time off is he's still involved heavily in the Christian convention. Kevin, you're on the committee, right?
I'm on the committee this year for the first time.
You had responsibilities as well down there. Yeah. I was there as an exhibitor. Also, we usually go anyway, but I was repping Living Water. We led the little gospel hymn sing with a few of our musicians from here, and that was fun. But the convention, I don't know the numbers. Maybe you do because you're on there, but it looked like very well attended. The main sessions were all full, and I thought it was great. The depressing part for me is Salonique wasn't able to make it back. They had closed the airports. Violence stirred up again in that country as it's been for years now. And so he wasn't able to get out. But it was really cool at our booth on Friday evening during the after party thing. I set up a video station with Salonique on Messenger Video and let people just come up and put on the headphones. Oh. It was awesome. Obviously you'd rather still be there, but it's really good for, I'd say, 10 or 12 people chatted with him. Some of them prayed with him, just caught up a little bit. So that was good. But pray for the country of Haiti because we hear today that the prime minister is resigning and they're going to try to put in place a transitional government. and work towards having an actual election. They haven't really had elected officials for 3 years now, which the whole country is just in shambles, really. Really, at Living Water, they have kind of for years had a safety net, and even during this, and the safety net is, faithful donors. That's one of them that step up, and our donors have, but also being, north of the Capitol by 3 hours or so, traditionally have been shielded from a lot of this violence. That hasn't been the case now because the gangs have moved everywhere. So still, the very north part of the country is somewhat shielded from what's going on, but other than that, most of Haiti's being affected. All of them are being affected by the inflation and just gang violence and crippling of the economy and all that. No matter where they are, they're affected by that. So please pray for them. Pray that Salonique gets back later this week to be able to go to some supporting churches and catch up with them. And pray that this recent development in their government would lead to positive change, because you don't know, the prime minister, it's a good step, I think, that he's resigned and that they're going to try to put in a more functioning government, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. So, the gangs are still going to try to seize power through this. So we really need to keep them in our...
continue to pray for safety for Salonique and his family, but everyone who works with the mission and teaches in their schools and has to travel and feed kids. And, when streets are unsafe, kids don't come to school, kids don't eat sometimes. So there's just a lot of things that have a domino effect.
He was saying it's very bad on families for many reasons when they don't have school, but one of them is their kids are not getting that one meal a day they get at school, which sometimes, in some cases, is their one meal a day because they feed them quite a bit. Second, they eat more when they're home because they're bored. They can't go out of the house. Kids, when they have nothing to do, they want to eat. Adults do that too when they're bored. But I'm just saying, it's even more stressful in these families to try to keep food on their table. And someone was like, a bag of rice was 4 times as much as it was a year ago or something. Wow. So it's really difficult on them. So anyway, that's a recap and a prayer item for you all. We want to move into our TLCC top 3, and I'll talk about the first one. It is something we talked about Sunday or highlighted, and it's the upcoming Bill Wolf concert. And so Bill Wolf's going to be here with a team from Johnson. And really, it's not a Johnson group. It's just that
when you say Johnson, you're talking about Johnson Bible College.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I assumed too much when we did his Johnson University.
Johnson University, sorry.
I'm old. He's a professor, I believe, at Johnson, and so it's just natural. He kind of does his own thing. He has his own music albums and stuff. So it's not really, this isn't like a recruiting thing for Johnson or something. It's just something he puts together, but those are the people he knows, and there's good musicians from there that travel with him. But he goes around and does this thing called Easter Stories and Songs, and what it is, it's just designed to be a reflective time leading up to Easter, to think about that whole season and what we're commemorating and what we're celebrating. So we're looking forward to that. It is a week from today, Tuesday, March 19th at 6:30. We're going to have some desserts for you. We're also going to have somebody bring in some healthy snacks because we know some people aren't eating desserts because they're diet choices that they've made. And so we'll have some opportunity for fellowship for a few minutes before the program begins. So hopefully you can get dinner, come and enjoy a dessert or some snacks, and the program will start shortly after 6:30. So we encourage you to be here at 6:30 on time, get some snacks, and then enjoy that program. All right, Mary, you can talk about the Easter schedule.
So Easter is always a busy time around here. Starts with Good Friday service on that Friday the 29th. And Anthony Brake and Brian and Daniel are working together to make an interactive. This year, for the first time, we're going to offer nursery for children up to 2 during that Good Friday service, so that since it will be a little bit more reflective, it might help to have babies in a nursery. You're not required to put your baby in the nursery, but if you would like to utilize that, you may. And then Saturday the kids are setting up because they're providing breakfast on Easter morning. They love doing that. And thank you for supporting them and allowing them to serve you, because they get really excited to do that. And then on Easter morning, our first service is at 8:00. And that's a little early, but it also enables some families to worship together and then have breakfast and then go do family things. Or if you have to travel, sometimes that's also handy. We will have nursery and preschool classes at 8:00. And then all parents are required to pick up their children, and then we'll have breakfast at 9:15. And we will set up tables in all of the adult and youth and elementary classrooms so that you can fellowship with your church family and enjoy breakfast. And then that will get cleaned up, and then we'll have a regular service at 10:45. So the 8 and 10:45 services are identical.
Yep.
And we're going to have a worship choir for Easter, and that's exciting.
So that was kind of the last of our top 3 today. I did want to back up just a second, because at the Bill Wolf concert, the Easter Stories and Songs, on the 19th, we don't have any children's childcare or anything during that, but we are going to have some little activity tables set up in the back. So if your family would rather sit at a table rather than in the rows, they have maybe some crayon things, or they can even bring some things from home if you want, but just have a table, because we know, we try to keep these things as family friendly as we can, but some kids still need some things to do. So that'll be an option for you if you'd like to sit in the back or along the sides at tables. You can choose to do that. Maybe you're an adult and you want to bring your own crossword puzzles or something. I don't know. We used to have a lady here. I can talk about her now because she's gone, but she would sit during both hours and do, that's a different lady. Though this lady would do word search or crossword puzzle just all the time during church. I think she was still listening and everything. It was just keeping herself active or whatever. But the worship choir is going to be for this Sunday, the 17th, as well as for Easter. You don't have to sing for both of them if you're going to be out of town one of them or something. But I encourage you to, if you're able. You don't have to have ever sung here before on stage. If you like to sing, you're invited. I would like you to let me know if you can, to make sure we have enough risers set up and enough music printed for you. So we practice on the Thursday before each of those Sundays at 5:30. So it'll be this coming Thursday, 5:30, and then on the 28th at 5:30. And that's our normal practice time, but for those weeks we'll be practicing for Easter. And so you're invited to that if you'd like to sing.
And we have some youth that are also going to be participating in worship choir. So you don't have to be an adult.
Yep. If you have little kids, one of your adults in your family needs to be with them, and by little I would say under junior high age. If they get older and they're able to stand up there by themselves, I'm fine with that. But younger than that, I really like it if a parent does it with them. All right, we have some more announcements about a couple of other events, but that's going to involve our Spotlight of the Week, and that's Kevin Brown. Kevin's here. He attends our church. He's involved here. The main way that I see you serving is coffee bar around here. When did you get involved with that?
About a year ago, I think, or a little longer.
It's been a little while now.
Yeah.
How long have you all attended here?
Gosh, we've probably been here close to 7 years now. It seems like it's really flown by.
So is that how long you've been in your role at Central?
Yeah, I was serving the role in Central a little bit before that because I drove back and forth from Iowa to Central for about a year, and then I was invited to come down and take on a different role, and we moved down here at that point in time.
I kind of remember that, but fuzzy. I mean, I was at Central during all that time, but so.
And when you talk about Central, you're talking about Central Christian College.
Correct, Central Christian College of the Bible. Yep.
Yeah. So, he and his wife attend here, but your job is at CCCB, and just basically, we'll start out by having you explain your role, what it is currently over there.
Yeah. I took on a recent title change. I'm now the Executive Director of Advancement Services for the college, and I continue to visit churches on a given weekend, provide updates for the churches. I also enjoy going into individuals' homes and ministering to them in their homes. Many of our supporters are elderly, and so sometimes this is the only contact that they have with the church. They may not be able to get out and go see the church so by being able to come into their home, talk to them about the college, and minister to them at the same time is just a really exciting thing that I get a chance to do. In my advanced role now, I'm also taking on the responsibility of organizing our Solid Men's Day and our Shine Women's conferences this year for the first time, and I'm also in charge of preparing for the Missouri Christian Convention as well as the International Conference on Missions each year, and making sure that we have everything we need to do. We have the people that's going that needs to represent the college and that sort of thing. So it's more of a administrative type role that I've kind of stepped into, which I really enjoy doing that, planning and organizing and getting people to serve in the right areas and that sort of thing. So I really enjoy that part of the job as well as the other part that I've always done. So,
well, we really appreciate you coming in today, and one of the main reasons is to highlight these two events coming up, because we put them on posters around the building, we put them out on the email, but the more ways you can get the word out, the better. And we know some of you watch or listen to this that don't read the connections or any of those things. And so last year, I think we had Janelle come in and do this, but since you've changed your role a little bit, I thought you were the perfect person to ask this year. And so the first of these events is coming up soon, actually also on the 28th, which is a little bit of a conflict that I set up for myself. But if you want to go to Solid, you go to Solid and we'll work out your participation in the choir because those things are kind of overlapping, and I'm going to go over and attend what I can there and be here when I have to be here. But we want to talk about that event and what it is. It looked like it's tweaked a little bit this year from the past. So that's on March 28th, which is the Thursday before Easter. Let us know the details that guys need to know for that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we love to invite our friends and family to come back to Central and be a part of it. Many people that come haven't been on campus for a number of years, and they're pleasantly surprised at the improvements that's been made and some of the things we've been doing. Everyone enjoys seeing our students in action and seeing them serving and that sort of thing. So that's always a fun thing for us. But it's like having family come back into your house and coming back to visit you. And so we try and have these days every year, and we're excited about our Solid Men's Conference, as Brian said, coming up here on March 28th, Thursday. I've invited a gentleman by the name of Mark Barrier, Dr. Mark Barrier. Some people are familiar with him, but he's been in the Restoration Movement ministry for many years. He currently serves as the minister in Mena, Arkansas, in our supporting church in Mena, Arkansas. He's also served for Dallas Christian College in a number of years as a professor there. He is part of the Kiamichi Mountain preacher education there at Kiamichi's. So he has a really neat background. And one thing that people don't know about Mark is he actually studied under a rabbi for about a year. And so he actually sat at the feet of a rabbi and learned from the rabbi and the Jewish beliefs and traditions and that sort of thing. And so I was told by one of our former trustees who's a doctor, he said, Mark Barrier is one of the smartest men he knows. And so it's going to be a real treat to hear from Mark Barrier and have him explain to us. He's going to be teaching and preaching out of the book of Romans. And so we're really excited to have him really bring forward the idea that God's outrageous grace and kind of go on that type of thing. So we're excited about that. We're also also happy to have Daryl and Sam Strumpf, who are Daryl's a former graduate of Central. They're going to be leading worship for us. And we also have, we're very happy to have, finally, who's scheduled allowed it, is Dr. Billy Struthers going to be leading our main session at 5:30. So we have two main sessions this year, 5:30 and 7:15. And so Billy's going to be leading our main session at 5:30, and Mark Barrier will be on at 7:15. And we've tried to get Dr. Billy scheduled to do this for years. And for every time we seem to have one come up, he's already got something going on. And it just so seems that he's actually in town for the first time. And so he's where we're going to be blessed to have Dr. Billy Struther, who's in charge of our preaching program as well as our adult or our master's degree program as well. So he's going to be there, and he's going to be sharing with us also about God's outrageous grace and taking a story out of the New Testament and talking about God's outrageous grace for our Solid Men's Day. So it begins at 4 o'clock registration. 4:30 is the Bible study with Dr. Mark Barrier on Romans. And then we're going to have Dr. Billy, followed by a really good meal prepared by Tricia DeVries in the kitchen. Can't beat that. And then we're going to have our second main session beginning around 7:15 that night. So you're more than welcome to register online, or you can contact me by phone and I'll get you signed up. But we're excited. We want to extend the invitation to all our Timberlake men to come out and be a part of our Solid Men's Conference.
Yeah, so I want to try to make it over there at least for that last part. But the Solid Conference, I thought, it's morphed a little bit through the years, but it's always good. And one thing I like is if there are dads there that have, I mean, last year it's with Preston, I think it kind of depends on your kid. There's a certain age at which they are ready to attend something like this. But if you have, especially a high school student, but even junior high sometimes, and you want to bring them to sit with you, I think it's really cool. We a lot of times have had dads and sons come together to these things, or students from our youth group. So it's when it starts at you said 4:30 this year?
Yeah, 4 o'clock is registration. 4:30 is our study in the book of Mark by Dr. Mark Barrier.
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to point out is if you're not able to make it by then, you can still come to the other main sessions, the banquet, and it's very reasonable. It's $25, right?
$25 at the door,
including the meal.
Yep, can't beat that.
So, as far as conferences go, it's about the cheapest one you're going to find, and has quality. It's just one day. It's easy to commit to it. It's easy to put it on your calendar and come out and enjoy that. The Shine Conference is similar. It's just for women. Is there anything you want to go ahead and plug about that?
Yeah, so we're not too far away to talk about Shine Women's Conference. As a matter of fact, April 11th, Thursday night, is our Shine Women's Conference. There's still an early bird registration discount that's available now through April the 1st, and so you can save $5. So it's only $20 to have one of the ladies attend. And we have always had great representation from Timberlake. A lot of times Timberlake will reserve a table, or actually last year maybe 2 or 3 tables. And so we would love to have Timberlake come again and have a table. And Solid is a great event, but Shine Women's Conference is just something just a little bit even more special. It's not uncommon for us to see 3 generations of grandmother, mother, and daughter coming to these Shine Women's Conferences, as well as it's a great opportunity for church groups like Timberlake to get together. And it's just an outing to be able to come to Moberly and to be able to visit our bookstore and shop while in town, and also take advantage of our Harvest Coffee House and have the different drinks available. So it's just a really nice outing for ladies to partake in. And I did a survey after our women's conference last year and asked if perhaps it would be more beneficial for us to make it one event and have men and women, husband and wives, come to one event. And the majority of people said, no. We like to go with ladies from our own church, and we like to make it a gathering, and we love to have our husbands along. But this time we really want to keep it our Ladies' Day. So we're keeping it as ladies on April 11th and men on March 28th. And the funny thing this year just happened to be this way, but all of our workshop leaders and our main speakers' names are Debbie. So this theme this year is going to be about Debbie, and we might do a thing of little Debbie snack cakes or something like that to capitalize upon this once in a generation thing of having all Debbies as our speakers. But we've got some great speakers coming in. Debbie Poor from E2 Eldership is going to be our main speaker and workshop leader. We've got Daniel's mother, Debbie Geringer, is going to be coming from Delaware. She's going to be leading a workshop similar to the one she did at Missouri Christian Convention a year ago, which was outstanding, and we got some great reviews from that. So we've invited her. And then we've got Debbie Fitzgerald coming from Quincy, Illinois, and she's going to be coming. She's one of our trustee members at the college, and so she's going to be leading a workshop as well. And then Daryl and Sam Strumpf is going to be coming and leading worship that night too. Okay. So that event, I have to look on this because it's still a ways away, but that check-in is at 2:30 on April the 11th, and then the main one of the main workshops starts at 3. Then we have a workshop basically every hour on the hour following that, and then our main session will start at 7 o'clock, and then prior to that is our dinner at that night. And so again, if you can't come to all the workshops, don't worry about it. Just come when you can. It's not unusual for us to have a group of people come up for the first workshop, and then another group of people come for second. Some people just show up for the main dinner and main session, which is fine. It's flexible and it's meant to do that way for allowing for many people in different circumstances to come and enjoy. So.
And what I like about it is, it's worth it even if you just come. Even if you get off work later and you can only come for the banquet portion, it's still worth it to do that.
Absolutely.
And reasonable cost as well, and a great meal.
Yeah.
So, my wife usually is there helping with something at these events, and so we enjoy them. And if you've never attended one, our encouragement is make this the year you try it out. And if you've never gone before, and you're like, I want to make sure I'm going with a group, just call us in the office, or you can comment on this as you're watching it, wherever you're at, and we'll make sure that you get to walk in with a group.
I think last year for the Shine conference, there was 3 or 4 tables.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you asked anybody, hey, where are the Timberlake women sitting, or you could hear us, I think, or find us fairly easily. Yeah. There was, easy to find somebody that you were familiar with, or meet somebody new from church.
I was just saying that because a lot of us that I call us Centralites, we're not nervous about walking to college. We know the drill. But we have a lot of newer people that, again,
Sorry, the lights just went out if you're not
I'm going to have to change something about that.
Brian installed a handy new motion sensor light back here, so it didn't get left on.
If you were... Jessica, my wife, last week was like, we didn't know what was happening. If you're one that only listens to the podcast, you have no idea what happened, but the lights go out. Automatic. I'm going to change that to be like an hour delay or something. But anyway, I think that hit the highlights of these events, and we thank Kevin for coming in today. Mary is going to close us out with our blessing of the week.
And our blessing for the week this week comes from Psalm 47. And honestly, I found it because sometimes Sunday mornings are a little chaotic for me, and so I watch online to make sure I get all the pieces that I missed on Sunday morning. But if you've never gone to the website and watched online, there is always a section under the sermon that gives you notes that whoever prepared the sermon can walk you through the sermon and some other ideas that go along with it. And so as I was going through that this week, Matt had directed us to Psalm 47. And it's a short one, and it sounds like this. Clap your hands, all you nations, shout to God with cries of joy. For the Lord Most High is awesome, the great King over all the earth. He subdued nations under us, peoples under our feet. He chose our inheritance for us, the pride of Jacob whom he loved. God has ascended amid shouts of joy, the Lord amid the sounding of trumpets. Sing praises to God, sing praises. Sing praises to our King, sing praises. For God is the King of all the earth. Sing to him a psalm of praise. God reigns over the nations. God is seated on his holy throne. the nobles of the nations assemble, as the people of God of Abraham. For the kings of the earth belong to God. He is greatly exalted. And I loved that reminder that God is the king of the world, and we just need to shout for joy. And whether we live in Haiti and our world is troubled and fighting and violent around us, or we're scared for our children, or any of the other places around this world who are enduring conflict, or whether we live here and things aren't always as we would choose, or harmony in our household is hard to find, we have a God who is in control, and we sing praise to him. And maybe it's praise for the sunshine and praise for a little extra sleep, or a Celsius to get us through the nights where we didn't get enough sleep. Whatever it is, we can be confident that our God is worthy of praise. And we just praise him and give him the honor and the glory for our life and our world. And we submit to him and we say, thank you, God. You are amazing. You are awesome. So that is your encouragement for the week.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kevin, for coming in today. Thank you all for watching or listening, and we hope to see you Sunday, and hope to see you next week on Ripple Effect.